tomorrow. You can watch round 1 on ESPN+. You know Anita and I like to hit the links, so you best believe we're going to have some par 3 picks for you there. The good word as well. But before we get started, Anita, the suits, they make sure, so we can make our paychecks, that you go to youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. Subscribe if you're not already doing so. It's not just for our benefit and our paychecks. It's benefit for you as well. All of our gambling content across all platforms resides there. You can get what you want and what you need from all of your favorite ESPN personalities. Anita Marks, of course, one of my favorite ESPN personalities. That's why we do bet here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's dive in with the good word. You know the drill. I'm going to read a statement. You just tell me the first word. Flex that vocabulary, that big brain of yours, Anita, that pops into your head. We start the good word with the AL MVP race. Aaron Judge having a decent season, I have seen, with all these taters he is hitting. Right now, Judge is 5-1 to win the American League MVP. What is your good word?
Motivation. Listen, he's already got 14 on the season. He hit 2 last night. His swing just looks so perfect. Talk about perfection in motion. If you do watch the Yankees each and every night, he's crushing the cover off the ball. Some people would like to say the snot out of the ball. Don't forget, they've got a short porch there in right field at Yankee Stadium where he plays half of his games. And last but not least, I probably buried the lead here. I typically do that. And that is motivational factor for the fact that dude's gonna get paid after this season. And I would imagine it was a big talk on my sports talk radio show here in New York prior to the season starting. Brian Cashman, the Yankees, couldn't get a deal done with Judge. Boy, that money's going to be flowing from other teams. Now the Yankees are probably going to have to pay more than what Judge was willing to accept at the start of the season. So motivation, baby. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I like that word. I like that context that you have for Aaron Judge. I'm going to use a synonym for Aaron Judge's ability. You know he is strong. And I think 5-1, third shortest odds. You see a couple of Angels, Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, have shorter odds. I think 5-1 is a pretty strong bet for Aaron Judge because he has torn the cover off the ball. He has hit the snot out of that Rawlings. I don't expect that to stop as long as he stays healthy throughout the summer. And the fact that he plays for the Yankees cannot be ignored here, especially, Anita, if the Yankees are going to continue to have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. That East Coast bias, whether you want to admit it or not, is going to be very real if Judge puts up these numbers and the Yankees win 105 games and have the best record in Major League Baseball. Even if Trout and Ohtani win their division and win 102 or 103 games, they'll likely split votes. Maybe Giancarlo Stanton, maybe Anthony Rizzo can get in the mix, but I think the strongest candidate on the team so far that has been the strongest in Major League Baseball is Aaron Judge, and we know he uses that strength to hit all those balls over those short porches at Yankee Stadium. That's why it is such a strong bet and why he is such a strong candidate. Let's move to the NBA now real quick here, Anita. Luka Doncic and the Mavs going to open their Western Conference Series on the road against the Golden State Warriors. You can double up a prop here, basically, with Luka and the Mavs winning and Luka scoring at least 40 points, over 39.5. That's 7-1 odds. What do you think of this proposition?
No win. You know what that is? No win. No win. It's Slovenian for no, baby. That's right. Listen to these trends. This trend I came across. Teams who play in a Game 7 and then immediately have to start a Game 1 only win 39% of the time. And that point differential is -4. On top of the fact that the Golden State Warriors, they are a great Game 1 team, especially at home. They are 20-2 straight up at home in the postseason, winning that first game. And they are 8-2 against the spread as a home single-digit dog. So no buen, as they say in Slovenian, for no.
I don't know how to say that in Slovenian, and I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to spell it properly, but no in Slovenian is technically what Anita wanted there. All right, I will move to this, and it is the number 3, okay? And we can also just put the numeral 3. Why? because if Luka Doncic and his Maverick teammates are knocking down their three-point shots, they can win this game. No team in this NBA postseason has taken or made more threes than the Dallas Mavericks, not only on a cumulative basis, but on a per-game basis. And of the 4 teams remaining, no team shoots the three-point shot at a higher clip than the Dallas Mavericks. No, it's not Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, and the Warriors. It is the Mavericks. They're the most efficient and most prolific three-point shooting team in this entire postseason. So I need at least 5 or 6 made threes from Luka Doncic to get his 40 points, and I need that team to knock down at least 45% of their threes to get this win. And at 7-1, okay, maybe it's worth it. But the three-point shot will be the key to both parts of this prop hitting for the Dallas Mavericks. All right, finally, we move to the ice. My St. Louis Blues couldn't quite pull off the Game 1 upset on the road against the Avalanche, a 3-2 winner as Josh Manson scores in overtime to lift the Avs to a 1-0 series lead. Plus 375, Anita, is the prop for this series to go 7 games. Your good word?
Doubtful. I know, boring, considering my previous 2 words. But listen, I thought at the start of the series that it would go the distance. But the Blues, let's be honest, your Blues did not look great last night, right? Colorado, they got their goalie back. He had 23 saves. Not a lot of aggression he had to deal with. But on the opposite side, Blues needed more than 51 saves to win the game and couldn't muster it up. So, I don't know, after last night's game, I don't know. I say doubtful.
Yeah, I think that's apropos given the way that the Blues probably needed to steal that game because of the 5 posts that the Avalanche hit and the onslaught of momentum they had for much of that game. The word I'm going to use is Bennington, and that is Blues goaltender Jordan Bennington. If he continues to play the way he did in Game 1, this has a chance to go 7 games. But if there is any slippage at all against this Avalanche offense, then I don't know if the Blues can keep up. I mean, they outshot the Blues basically 2-1. There was twice as much puck possession and scoring chances. Maybe it was an outlier for Game 1, but dang, the Avalanche did just sweep the Predators. They look pretty darn dominant in that series as well. So if Bennington can find that 2019 form again, if he can be Michael Jordan Bennington and keep standing on his head throughout this series, it has a chance to go 7 games, but they still lost. And he did play awesome hockey. May have been the best player on the entire ice last night. So they need Bennington to ball out. We are going to hopefully have the Puck Daddy on with us in just a little bit to discuss this series and more on the ice, because he said before it started, he picked the Blues to win in 7 games. And it looked like they might steal Game 1 for a little bit, but of course, Manson with the game winner in OT. Let's, while we work on the Puck Daddy, move to the hardwood. Anita Marks, we have a couple of games to discuss here. One of them taking place tonight. It is Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Mavericks and the Warriors. Right now, Golden State is a 5.5-point home favorite, total at 214.5. You see the series price there, as the Warriors are considerable favorites there. Luka and the Mavs, they've just kept winning, kind of as an underdog. We know how impressive they looked in that Game 7 against Phoenix. How are you looking to attack Game 1 tonight by the Bay, Anita?
All right, so a few things. I'm going Warriors. I'm going to lay the points. Also, I like the under here at 214.5. And I'm going to save my moneyline parlay from when we talk about the Heat. So let's shelf that for a second. But as I shared with you just a second ago when we were talking about Luka and the night that we're expecting him to have, again, teams that come off of long Game 7s, and even though it wasn't as strenuous, right, as what we saw Boston go through with the Bucks, still 7 games, where now you've got the Warriors who are on a huge rest advantage, which definitely bodes well for them. The Warriors offensively, how they're able to motion in offense and really free up Draymond Green. I think we're going to see him play the 5 a lot tonight. And the one thing that the Dallas Mavs don't have, especially since they traded KP, is a lot of big men in the paint, not a solidified center. So I think Draymond Green is going to have a big advantage tonight as well. As for the under, these are 2 really good defensive teams. And as we know, the Mavs, they play a very slow-paced offense. They play half-court basketball, trying to really get Luka the ball and work his magic. And those are two reasons why I like the under, as well as I'll lay the points with the Warriors. I've got 2 prop bets in this as well, Ty. I got Andrew Wiggins over 5.5 rebounds. Big reason is defensively, he's going to be needed on the court to go up against Luka. He's averaging over 7 a game in the postseason, and he's put up over 7 in 8 of his last 10. Also, Dwight Powell over 7.5 points and rebounds combined for the same reason. They're going to need him on the court defensively to help defend Draymond Green, who, again, I anticipate to play the 5 a lot tonight. And when he's averaging 18 minutes a game, he's also averaging 11 points and rebounds a game. So two players for each team that I think are going to get excessive minutes tonight because of their defensive prowess. And I think that they'll be able to also obviously contribute on the opposite side of the court.
All right, well, we're both attacking the total, Anita, but we're on opposite sides. I kind of like the over 214.5 in this matchup, and I definitely agree with you that the Dallas Mavericks want to play a slow brand of basketball. But this game's in San Francisco, so I think the Warriors are more likely with the home court advantage to dictate the type of tempo that this game is played at. And the Warriors are the fastest-paced team remaining in this NBA postseason by a considerable margin. So I'm looking at this as actually a pace-up spot for the Dallas Mavericks. We know the Warriors, when they're at home, also a wildly more efficient offense. 11 points per 100 possessions better during this postseason at Chase Center versus the opposition's arena. So I expect Clay, Steph, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins to have better shooting days, play closer to their ceiling. And then on the Mavericks side, if they're getting a few extra offensive possessions, that helps when you have maybe the best offensive player in the NBA, Luka Doncic. And I told you as well, the Mavs are a team that likes to shoot the 3, and they shoot it well. So I expect them to shoot the 3 well in this game and go over 214.5. I expect those numbers to come down as the series progresses. Speaking of series progressing, let's get to game 2. We'll see tomorrow night down in South Beach. Miami gets game 1. They cover. It goes over the total, very low total of 204. So we have a 4-point home favorite. The total shot up 3.5 points to 207.5. Still don't know about Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Kyle Lowry, but based on the info we have right now, how do you want to play game 2?
First things first, they don't play on South Beach. They play on Brickell, which is about 5 to 7 miles from South Beach. Just clarifying, I know everybody likes to make it sound so sexy. I'm going to take the heat. I'll lay the points, and you touched on it right at the get-go, right? Like, we don't know Marcus Smart. Apparently, he's going to see how his foot feels. It's a 36-hour differential from game 1 to game 2, but big question mark. More importantly, Horford. Horford's such a big key. He's not the straw, but he's not the straw that stirs the drink, but he's that sugary blueberry at the bottom of your old fashioned. Very, very important. Very important. So with not having those two guys we saw last night, especially in the second half, Boston's not the same. Meanwhile, Butler's going off. Bam's doing great. Their defense is awesome. Held Tatum to under your point total from last night, under 29.5. You hit that prop bet, Tyler. So I like the Heat here.
Yeah, it was a absolute nail-biter with Jason Tatum after that first half, but we'll take a win any way we can get it. All right, Anita, a lot of people before game 1, even with that low total, thought these two defenses, I'm going under 204. I kind of wanted to zag, and I suggested playing the over because I think the defenses will start to show up as the series progresses. Now that we've added 3.5 points to the total from game 1, and the fact that Boston is going to be desperate, we'll see about Marcus Smart and Al Horford. That, of course, is a big part of this handicapping. But if either or both is back, that helps Boston's defense tremendously. I'm going to go under 207.5. Both teams are slow. Miami and Boston play great defense. And with Boston being desperate to even this up before we get back to Game 3 in Boston, I think they're going to slow it down and play even more physical brand of basketball. So I'm going to zig while everyone else is zagging. Maybe people are thinking the over is the play. I like the under. Even though it didn't hit in game 1, I like it in game 2. All right, Anita, let's play a prop game in the association. Take your pick is the name of the game. A couple of props. You tell me which one you like best. Jalen Brunson or Klay Thompson in game 1. Take your pick. Brunson over 22.5 points and assists. Clay over 23.5 points and assists.
Well, I'm wearing Clay on my shirt, but I'm going Brunson. I like its better odds. Also, listen, he's going to have to put up the points because you know they're going to focus on Luka. Meanwhile, Mavs, great against three-point shooting, and that's Clay's wheelhouse. So I'm going Brunson here.
Yeah, this one is tough for me, but I kind of agree with you. I want Brunson, and the tiebreaker for me is just that it's a 1 assist or point lower threshold to clear. And I think Clay will play well tonight, but I'll just take the lower threshold because Brunson is still kind of that secondary star alongside Luka Doncic. And a toss-up, I'll take the lower threshold with Jalen Brunson. We agree there. How about this? Take your pick prop. 2.5 blocks and steals. To go over is plus 155 for Luka to Don. It's a plus 140 prop for one of the game's best defensive players, Draymond Green.
I'm going Green. Again, as I said earlier, I expect him to play the 5, play the center spot a lot tonight. Therefore, he's going to be in a great opportunity. He's going to have a great opportunity to get those steals, to get those blocks, especially against a Mavs team that's pretty small. So I'm going Draymond Green.
We're on different sides of this one, Anita. First, there is the price.
What?
I like the extra 15 cents with Luka Doncic. And then there are the teams. Anita, the team that is turning the ball over more than any other team in this postseason is the Golden State Warriors. The team that is most careful with the basketball in this postseason is the Dallas Mavericks. So the better price with the better matchup, I will take Luka Doncic at plus 155 to give us at least 3 steals and blocks. All right, maybe we can get back on track with this one. Who's going to get a double-double in Game 2 on the Miami Heat side? Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler, same plus 170 price.
Just for the record, I don't like either of these, but if you're forcing me to choose, I'm gonna go Butler here. Dude looked great, rested legs, he looks so spry. Listen, he only put up 1 double-double in one of his last 5 games. Meanwhile, Bam last night, only 4 rebounds and 1 assist. So I shy away from Bam. Give me Butler.
Yeah, I understand the Butler appeal. I am going to, again, don't love it either, go with Bam here. I think that was a bad game, and he's due for positive regression, especially if Al Horford is out. That makes it easier to rebound for someone like Bam Adebayo. So we know they'll need his scoring. Someone needs to step up alongside Jimmy Butler. You may be right about this, to be perfectly honest with you, because Butler's just an absolute freak in the postseason, and I should trust that. But I'll officially make it Bam. All right, final take your pick. This a Game 2 prop on the Celtics side. Par for their 2 stars. It's 33.5 for Jaylen Brown. It's 40.5 for Jason Tatum. Which Celtic star would you rather play the over?
I've got to go Brown here. He put up 34 points and rebounds alone last night. And we know what this Miami Heat defense does. They eliminate their opponent's best player, and that's Tatum. Again, held them to below 29 points last night. So for me, it's Brown. I think Tatum gets all the attention again tomorrow night.
I kind of want to go Tatum here. I think Tatum is going to show up. 40.5 is low for him because he usually gives you about 29 or 30 points. And especially if Al Horford and Marcus Smart are out again, that's more rebounding and more playmaking they need from Jason Tatum. If those two are back, maybe I switch this up. But right now with the information I have, I'll lean Jason Tatum. All right, from one postseason to the next, Anita. I think you were saying wow because the very handsome and very knowledgeable Greg Wyshynski is joining us right now to break down that NHL postseason. And earlier, Puck Daddy, you heard us talking about that Blues-Avs series and the potential for it to go 7 games. It was a valiant effort for St. Louis, but they fell short. Speaking of Game 7s, the Rangers are coming off a Game 7 victory. And now, after trailing in that series 3-1, they go down to Carolina as a small plus 150 dog in Game 1 on ESPN tonight. How are you playing this matchup to get round 2 kicked off?
Well, don't forget the Hurricanes are coming off of Game 7 too, baby. They're going to be pumped up as well. I am taking the Carolina Hurricanes on the puck line in this game. They have some distinct advantages against the Rangers. The Rangers showed in their series against Pittsburgh that they struggle at 5-on-5. The Hurricanes are a very good 5-on-5 team. The Rangers showed that they need their power play to thrive, to really get their offense going. The Hurricanes are the best penalty kill in the league. The Hurricanes are the best defensive team on home ice. All the things point to Carolina in this game. I like them to win by more than a goal and a half.
All right, Puck Daddy. I love it. The Nightcap also a team that won 7 on bonus time in the Calgary Flames. They're also a favorite in the series with the Oilers. They're at minus 160 on the money line for tonight. So what do you like in this game? How are you playing it?
So I'm playing it on the Calgary side. I'm playing the under 3.5 team total for the Flames in this game. I thought the Edmonton Oilers played their best defensive game of their series against the Los Angeles Kings in Game 7, winning 2-0. Mike Smith in that game continues to play extraordinarily well. In fact, in his last 8 road games, Mike Smith has not given up more than 3 goals. So if you're looking at a 3.5 goal team total, you're looking at what Mike Smith has done on the road. I kind of like how that squares up. Tight game 1, Edmonton playing well defensively. I like the under team total in this one.
All right, Puck Daddy, back to my Blues. Again, it was a disheartening loss. Colorado dominated that game, but Jordan Binnington almost single-handedly stole it. Yesterday on Daily Wager and last week on our Monday, I should say, on Bet, you said you liked the Blues to win this series in 7 games. Now, it's only 1 victory, but they've gone from plus 320 to now a 5-1 odds to win this series, which means they got to win 4 of the next 6. Do you still like the Blues after what you saw in Game 1 at Ball Arena?
All right, so my new friend PK Subban, who's on the drop tonight at 6:30 with me and Ardo Acal, he said to me before, you know what, that was the game the Blues needed to win. And he's probably right. But I picked them to win the series. So what am I going to do? Get off the train now? Here's the thing. If they can win a few more faceoffs, and this was supposed to be one of their major advantages in this series, the Avalanche were like 28th in the league in faceoffs, the Blues much better. If they can win more faceoffs in Game 2, get more puck possession, slow this game down to their pace a little bit more, I think they have a lane. They just got to get 1 in Denver, man. I think they're going to be fine back in St. Louis, so I'm not off them quite yet, but boy, did it feel like they needed to win that Game 1, didn't it?
Yeah, it definitely did the way Binnington played.
All right, let's talk about the Florida teams. As we know, the Panthers, the Lightning beat the Panthers on their home ice. Power play, a big key there, right? Lightning went 3-6 on the power play. Panthers were 0-3. So Game 2, Panthers favored again, minus 160 on the money line. Who are you taking in Game 2?
I would take the Panthers here to bounce back for a couple of reasons. One, I agree with their coach, Andrew Brunette, who said after the game, you know, we played pretty well 5-on-5. And they did. They played pretty well 5-on-5, good enough to generate more than the 1 goal that they did. The problem was they were supremely undisciplined. Giving 6 power plays to the Tampa Bay Lightning is a recipe for disaster. I think they'll be more disciplined in Game 2. And again, like we talked about before, they're 0-for-21 in the playoffs on their power play. That is simply not sustainable. It's going to cycle back. And Game 1 was a great example of a game where they score the first goal. If their power play works, they probably add to that lead, get a little bit of wind in their sails, and probably win that game. So I like them in Game 2. They just have to kind of like find a little bit of confidence and not get freaked out when things don't work well against a good defensive team.
He is Greg Wyshynski, and he is our father of pucks here on Bet and ESPN's betting platform. Puck Daddy, we appreciate you dropping by on this Wednesday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, Anita, now we get to maybe our favorite segment of this bet because we have a major championship tournament on the links teeing off tomorrow, and you can watch all of round 1 on ESPN's family of networks starting on ESPN Plus bright and early, 8 a.m. Eastern. That's 5 a.m. for me here on the West Coast. Par 3 means you make 3 bets, 3 picks for this tournament. You're on the tee box. Milady, what you got?
All right, for me, this is Scottie Scheffler's tournament to lose. Let's be honest. He's won 4 times out of the last 7 times that he has teed it up. And this course, his metrics fit it extremely well. Like, he's not the longest dude off the tee, but he's pretty long. His accuracy, that's where he struggles, doesn't really have to be too concerned about it. They took these fairways from 27 yards and expanded them to 40, so these guys can grip it and rip it. He's 3rd in greens in regulation. That's a big key metric, and he's an excellent putter. Oops, yet again, I buried the lead, and that is he has said that Southern Hills Golf Course is his favorite track in the world, not just the country, but the world. So Scottie Scheffler to win. Also, give me Cantlay to finish in the top 5. His game has improved each and every week as he has teed up. He's been looking great, and Now this is really interesting. The fairways are Bermuda, the greens are bent grass, and Cantlay is one of the best golfers on bent grass. And weather conditions are supposed to be really nice, not too hot. He doesn't like to play in hot conditions. And last but not least, I think everybody's sleeping on Decky. Dude was amazing in the Byron Nelson. Gained 9 strokes on strokes gained on approach and finished 3rd. He can win a major. We saw him win the Masters before. He knows what it takes. I've got Decky finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, I love those plays. No reason to bet against Scottie Scheffler at this point. Patrick Cantlay's in my daily fantasy lineup, and Hideki Matsuyama barely missed the cut. Just a couple of guys in that price range I like a little more. All right, my par 3 is going to start with kind of a long shot, Taylor Gooch. Now, I'm going to offer up Taylor Gooch at plus 140 to finish in the top 40, but I am also offering him up at 100-1 to win this thing. Why? He played his golf at Oklahoma State. He's very familiar with the Southern Hills track, and he's very familiar with the conditions he will see down there in Oklahoma. Plus, the weakest part of his game is driving the golf ball, which is negated by those extended fairways we are going to see at Southern Hills. The strength of his game is around the green and on the green, which is where guys are going to make their bread and do their scoring, much like you have to do at Augusta National. So like Taylor Gooch at plus 140, he's played in 5 majors, made the cut in 4 of them. Next is Jordan Spieth. We know Jordan Spieth needs this championship to complete the career Grand Slam. We also know Jordan Spieth is coming off a win and a second-place finish in his last 2 events. He has that creativity and that genius around the green, and he's actually started driving the ball better, which makes it scary for Jordan Spieth. And finally, my guy who I offered up at the Masters, who was bested by Scottie Scheffler, I'm going right back to Cameron Smith. But I'm going to offer him up as a 35-1 long shot to lead after the first round. Why? He's awesome in the first round. He's 3rd on tour this season in first-round scoring with an average of 67.8 on his scorecard. He has the best short game in the world, which will play well at this tournament. He also plays well at Augusta. We saw him finish 2nd there, and he is one of only 6 golfers to shoot in the 60s on round 1 at Augusta, where he was in 2nd place behind Sung J M after the first round. So those are my par 3 plays for the PGA Championship at Southern Hills. Can't wait to get up early and watch that on ESPN+. Finally, we wrap up Wednesday's show on the diamond, try and make you some dollars. First, though, Anita, we have to do some accounting. Wasn't that great for our show 5 days ago on Friday. You took an L with the Rockies against the Royals. You had a nice win for the Yankees, but I took a big L with the Angels. They scored just 2 runs in the first 5 innings. So you're down to 102.13. I'm down to $160. Let's try and get it back today. What are your Diamond Dollar plays or play?
All right, I'm going to put $15 on the on the Cleveland Guardians on the money line. Terry Francona and the coaching staff are back. They were on the COVID list. Also, they get Reyes back at DH. Red starting pitcher, 6.50 ERA at home. I'm also putting $10 on Garrett Cole over 6.5 strikeouts. He's hit that over in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's going 6 innings in his last 4 starts. And in his last 2 matchups against the Orioles, he has accumulated 20 strikeouts.
All right, I like those. I'm going to go to a pitching prop as well, but I have just one Diamond Dollar play. It's Kevin Gausman to have 0 walks, under a half walk. Look at that price at plus 170. My $20 will return $54. Gausman taking on a Seattle lineup that is not imposing at all. This season, he has made 7 starts. In 5 of them, he has had no walks. He has just 2 walks in 175 batters faced. His first 5 starts of the season included no walks. His only 3 starts at home, where he's pitching tonight, 0 walks, covering 18 innings. This guy has the most impeccable control of any starter in Major League Baseball. And despite the fact that he had 1 walk in each of his last 2 outings, Anita, he gets back to a big 0 in that stat column tonight against the Mariners. So there are our Diamond Dollar plays, a couple for Anita, and I have a Kevin Gausman pitching prop as well. All right, we made it all there. Can't wait for the PGA Championship to start tomorrow. We, of course, will be back on Friday, continuing our coverage of the NBA and NHL postseason. For Anita Marks, I'm Tyler Fulghum. We'll see you Friday. Back here on Bet.